strong chance at the championship, considering how short the season is.
I don't know. I mean, this series is kind of new to me, and like you was just saying, with a 3-race style setup, it's going to be interesting, man. I'm going to tell you what. So I'm excited. We're here at Charlotte, so we'll just have to see what happens.
Well, I think it's going to be a very interesting race. I feel like drivers are going to drive a little bit more aggressively than what we're used to, just because of the fact that it is only a 3-race series and that it's, going to go by so quickly, and the fact that after this, there's only 2 more weeks. How many times is it that you start a new season and you say, hey, guess what? We're in the chase, basically, if this series used the chase format, which it doesn't, but it's just incredibly interesting. How it's going to be this season, being only 3 races.
Yeah, I mean, 3 races is unique. I mean, like you just said, these guys are going to have to be a little bit aggressive off the bat, and that's probably what we're going to see is a lot of aggressiveness because you've got that urgency to get there and try to get to the front and do the best you can because there's hardly any room for error with only 3 races.
Yeah, that's true, too. Now, the other interesting thing is the session weather. We're running a low downforce setup, and yet it's 90 degrees out in the middle of the day. That's going to be very interesting and open up some multi-group racing. What do you expect from the cars on track this night?
I'm going to tell you what, the K&N car is a very, very good car. It's the old-style Winston's Cup-style series car. But I'm going to tell you, even with that kind of conditions, with a low downforce, 90-degree style track, and maybe a hot track surface, these cars could get slick. But then again, you could start feeling a tight condition. So it's kind of iffy here at Charlotte. I mean, Charlotte is kind of one of those you never know style tracks. It's a fun, fast place to race at.
Yeah, sitting here in qualifying right now as the cars are working their way around the racetrack. Patrick Campbell has the pole, and of course last season's champion taking the pole. That's a pretty strong indication that, he wants to contend for another championship next season.
Well, sitting on pole, he's off to a darn good start, Matt. I'm going to tell you, this is and that's how you do it. You got to come out the gate, especially with only 3 races. You got to come out the gate strong, stay strong throughout that series, and the guys in the back, he's the man to catch.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to watch. Now, next week, I know we're already looking ahead, but next week is Lanier. There's an interesting track choice for these cars. That should be interesting, too. Another thing I want to look for tonight is this is a short race. It's only 64 laps, which traditionally big leagues and stuff run a bit longer, sometimes into the 200 lappers, especially at Charlotte, a 1.5-mile oval. How do you think it's going to be affecting these drivers, how it's only a 64 lapper?
Well, in the back of their mind, they're thinking about 3-race season, championship. But like what you just mentioned, 64 laps, that is kind of small. I mean, we're used to 100, 150 lap style races, and 64 laps to me is almost like a shootout style. So again, not only are they thinking about the three race season, but they're thinking about 64 laps. Man, I'm going to tell you, that is really going to be, hey, it's go time basically.
Yeah, and it's going to be go time right out of the gate,
man.
Which is what I find very interesting is how that's going to be working as we see qualifying beginning to end. We're going to take it over right now to, just 1 second actually, we're going to be taking it over to the actual race cam as we see drivers getting ready to go racing here. Patrick Campbell has a pole, then Justin Rodin, Brandon McGee, and then 13th will be the 03, the 29 starts in 14th. 15th goes to Stephen Bonesteel, and then the car to his outside is not yet currently gridded. 16th goes to the 74 car. The 87 car starts to his outside in 17th. 6 is the 76. The 54 is 27th, 28th. The 58, 29th. The 98, and rounding out the field in 30th is the 48 car, Gloria Quintella. As we get ready to go racing. The action tonight is going to be very interesting. It's a hot track, and that always makes for interesting racing. Is a hot racing surface.
It does, Matt. You know that's something that's going to be tricky for these guys, as they're definitely going to have to battle with a hot track, slick track. So it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be exciting with these amount of cars here on this track.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it. I love multi-group racing, and the hot track, in my opinion, always brings out some kind of multi-group action as drivers look for the coolest part of the racetrack to get the most grip, and that's just going to be so fun to watch. It's going to be a very exciting race.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The K&N cars, I mean, these cars are so exciting to watch, so definitely going to be interesting here at the Winstel Cup Series.
Yeah, 64 laps of action getting ready to go underway here on Fusion Motorsports TV 1 and then simulcasting on Fusion Motorsports TV 2. For those viewers on Fusion Motorsports TV, hello and welcome. Hope you guys are getting ready to enjoy a fine show of racing. The pace car pulls off. Joe White will call the green.
I'm going to tell you what, Dylan Roberts jumps right out to the front, or Patrick Campbell jumps right out to the front. Looking very good as they head off into turn number 1, Matt, side by side for second to third, fourth, and fifth.
Yeah, very good start for the number 02 of Patrick Campbell. He'll just run away with that lead. Justin Rodin in the 27, right behind Brendan McGee on the outside. You got Nicholas Doucette right behind him and Michael Finlayson in 5th. And then you see going back to 6th place is Brandon McKissick in the number 24, and you'll see he gets to the inside of Finlayson, trying to take away that 5th spot, and he'll get it coming across the start-finish line. That moves the 24 up to 5th. The 14 is back down to 6th. You see Ryan Doucette in 7th, still trying to contend. And look at the 24 McKissick go way high there.
I know, man. I'm going to tell you what, the battle's all over the place here, and that's what Charlotte brings to us. Awesome battles here, and especially in this K&N car. These guys are going to be so close. This is what we're going to see. Side by side, door to door, nose to tail style racing.
Yeah, and look at this. That outside line already within the first few laps is showing to be the dominant line. That's something that you never see at Charlotte, and it's something that's very interesting to watch.
Well, you know, you kind of arc these cars in, Matt, going into the turn, so sometimes that middle to high groove can come in a little bit, but hey, we were talking about it to begin with. This is going to slick track, hot conditions, so that high groove might be the place to be at.
Yeah, that's true. It seems like I was hearing earlier during practice when we were talking to some of the drivers. It seems like that high groove is the preferred line to work with, and it's showing true. And look at the 94 car, Brendan McGee, the league owner, running towards the rear end of Patrick Campbell. But you see Nicholas Doucette is not letting McGee run away with this as he's staying right onto the back end of him. 60 laps to go when we cross the start-finish line. And the 87 dives way down on the bottom of the racetrack with the number 55 of Clifford Evan in tow. That's Ryan Nolan.
Saw that.
87.
Yeah, and we got a battle up here for the front. You were just talking about it. Brendan McGee going up against Nicholas Doucette right here. The 94 versus the 51. These two men are door to door as they head off into turn number 1.
You see Doucette takes the spot very easily in that number 51 Chevrolet SS. Right behind him is McKissick, and yeah, I know these are all Impalas, but it says SS. Let's have a little fun, you know?
Absolutely.
I see people stamp Pontiac stickers on these cars, but I'll call it whatever I see it. That's the authenticity.
Nothing wrong with that now. There you go.
Yeah, but that 51 looks very fast right now as he's starting to pull away from the 94 McGee and actually start to catch up to the back end of Patrick Campbell and that number 02 machine.
I'm going to tell you what, Patrick Campbell, if he doesn't watch, he's going to have a little company right here because that 51 and that throwback Jeff Gordon scheme that he's got running is definitely running him down, and it's going to be a battle for the lead here soon, I think.
Yeah, that's a very nice paint scheme on that 51 car, representing all the ages of the Jeff Gordy schemes, from the Drive to End Hunger to the famous Rainbow Warrior, and then the Flames paint scheme. I really don't know if there's a name for it. And then, of course, his final race paint scheme, which he also raced in 2012 in that race. It was the same kind of color scheme on the car then. And you see, he's really getting close to the back end of Patrick Campbell. The one thing I'm noticing is he's running that more bottom line compared to that 02 car, if you look at it.
He is. He's kind of staying to that bottom, kind of arcing it in just a little bit. That's the kind of line I like to run around here when I've run this track. Kind of arc it in, stay towards the bottom. Maybe a couple little bit. He arcs it in right there, as you see. Then he lets it kind of drift as he comes out. Gets you a good run coming off the turns.
Yeah, I traditionally run this car at the nighttime at this track, so I'm not that well versed in running it the day, but whatever Nicholas Doucette is doing, it, as you said, it is working very well, as he's almost on the back bumper of the number 02, Patrick Campbell. We're going to ride from the gearbox cam of the number 02 and take a look at that action as he gets to his inside. Nicholas Doucette trying to make the pass to the inside of Patrick Campbell. He goes.
Door to door. Well, he thought better of it, and right there was another thing about, you have to watch. These cars can push coming out of those, coming out of the turn like that, Matt. And if you don't watch it, if you don't get that right angle, he could have pushed right up into the 02 car, or Patrick.
Yeah, you saw the Xerox number 02 machine get really, really tail happy coming out of turn 2 there. I'm not sure why, but that car did a big wiggle on itself.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Now you see the 02 Patrick has moved right down in that low line. He's probably seeing something. He might have been in a little bit of tire saving mode, but he's seeing that, Nicholas Doucette was gaining on him and making up a lot of ground by using the low line. So now he figured, hey, I'll drop down. Now, that's another thing to look at, Matt, is by using the line that Nicholas was using, he was using a tad bit more tire than what the Patrick was in the 02. So different strategies here early on.
Yeah, that's very true. But it's working for Doucette. He's right up on the back bumper of that number 02 machine. And it's very impressive how Patrick Campbell in the Xerox 02 is able to hold off Doucette, who is just charging right at the back end of him.
I'm going to tell you, well, if he doesn't get that right arc going into the turn, and that's another thing we need to talk about here a second, is Nicholas might be able to catch Patrick, but passing him is another thing, because this track, yes, you could pull up on someone, and there is multi-grooves, but like we were saying, to make that low line work to a guy that's used that the line that Patrick is running, it's very hard to pass because he's taken away. If you watch when Nicholas goes into the turn, he has to let that car drift coming out. Well, guess what? Patrick is taking that line away when he's down low.
Yeah, that's very true. But look at this. Doucette's going to take the inside. No, he's not. I'm surprised. He's getting that opening every time going to the corner, and as you said, Patrick's cutting him off near the end of the corner. Why doesn't he just take that gap right away when it immediately presents itself to him?
Well, if he dives that car down in there and knowing this track, he looks like he's backing those turns, kind of arcing it down in. It looks like if he goes down there and dives into that turn and gets side by side with Patrick, again, Patrick is doing what he needs to do. He's taking away that the coming off the turn where he needs to drift up and complete the pass. And what happens is Nichols, if he gets beside of him, he could end up taking both of them out, or he's going to have to give the position back up because he won't be able to complete the pass. Now, on good tires, Matt, probably wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, that's true, as the tires are probably beginning to wear, despite being only 14 laps in a very hot racetrack. Tires, especially if you're using them up, do tend to wear quickly, so that may be something that is also happening right now.
Oh, yes, definitely. I mean, these guys are probably finessing. And I tell you what, Patrick actually has probably a better line for saving tires and managing tire wear throughout the whole run than what Nicholas is running. I do run the line that Nicholas is running, and it is a very fast line. But I'm going to tell you, after a while, he's going to have to move to that middle groove to make it stick and work really around this track.
Yeah, that's true, and I think what he's trying to do right now is just kind of stay consistent with Patrick, maybe get that opening and make the pass, then he's going to move it back towards that middle groove after a while.
Absolutely. You're 100% right, and this is what you're going to see here at this track. It looks like, oh, man, he's got an opening. He can make it stick. He can take it in there. But it really, it's deceiving. That's the word I need to use right there. It's deceiving. It looks like it is, but it's really not there.
Yeah, moving away from the battle for the lead right now as we start to try to take a look towards the back. Good battle for 5th going on with Brett Fawzy and Michael Finlayson. Fawzy in the number 78. Look at Finlayson on the bottom, and it's working for that 14, but that 78 gets a very good run off the corner, is able to hold off the number 14, at least for the moment.
Well, this is a perfect example of what I was talking about a minute ago. You were talking about the leaders. Look at that outside and where the middle groove is, the number 78's in. The 14 has to give way. Even though he can get there, he can't make it stick because he's getting cut off. He can't let that car drift all the way up coming out. And you see the 78 was able to take that position back. And the 14 had eventually just dropped back in the line. So, perfect example, we was talking about with the leaders up there. And that's what we're seeing. Different grooves. And that middle groove really might be the dominant groove so far.
Yeah, the 14 actually loses a position to Justin Rodin. That's the take 6th place ways. He got real squirrely out of 2. And Rodin was able just to come up. And look at this. He's going for 5th place, too. And also Brendan McKissick moves up to 3rd, getting past the 94, Brendan McGee.
I'll tell you what, we got an awesome battle here for...
There's a spin. Does he save it? Yes, he does. Oh, no.
Yep,
Big
he
stack
saved
up,
it.
but nobody crashes.
Wow, that was amazing right there. An awesome save by Brandon McGee. I'll tell you what, he got tapped in the rear. But we do have a spin in the back.
It was Brendan McKissick that went around, got tapped, but you'll notice those 3 cars, the 14, the 27, and the number 24 both have damage, and yeah, caution is out. I believe it was Justin Ramsdale, as he is running rather slowly right now in that number 92 GoPro machine. Or no, it wasn't actually, because I see the smoke. I don't know who exactly got around, but there is definitely smoke down the front stretch, or back stretch rather. You got who wound up spinning out?
I saw him in the background there, and trying to look up right here it is to see who it was.
I see the 57 of Stephen Bonesteel, and then that Menards machine is around, so that's what happened. Yeah, Bonesteel got into the back of the 03 coming out of turn 2. You'll see the 03 kind of overcorrected into him. I'm not too sure there because it looks like the 03 was getting a little bit loose through the corner. Actually, yeah, he was starting to get sideways. I think the 03 may have overcorrected into Stephen Bonesteel in that situation, but nonetheless, a bad situation for both of those drivers. As you see, Bonesteel's got heavy damage, but the Menards machine, I believe, was completely tore up with a blown motor.
Yes, he is.
Bonesteel got a better deal out of that, but still a very tore up number 57 Napa Auto Parts machine.
Yeah, and a very tore up 03 for Ryan Gavel there too. I mean, it's like you just said, looked like it's just a racing deal. Didn't have the momentum coming off the turn and just kind of turned, and that's what happens here. It's so fast here at this track that it can happen, and they're running so close too.
Yeah, and no fast repairs either, so Ryan Gavel will finish out the night in 29th position. We're going to try to talk to him. Ryan Gavel, car number 03, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Now, I know this is a bad end to your night after starting 11th place. What happened there with the number 57?
Well, from what I'm seeing in the replay here is I was on the inside, and I got loose and slid up the track, and then he also got loose and came down the track, and we just got into each other, and I got put straight up in the outside wall pretty bad.
Yeah, bad situation for the 03 Mo and Menard Chevrolet. How was the car handling up until that point?
I was handling pretty good. The setup and the tire wear is pretty bad. It gets really loose really quick. It's a pretty interesting setup.
Now, good luck next week, and tough end for your night. Have a good rest of the night, though.
Yeah, thanks, man. See ya.
Talk to us. That was the number 03, Ryan Gavel, in the Moen and Menards machine. Tough night for him, though. Patrick Campbell, still your race leaders. We take it over to the FMTV Caution Cam. We'll be right back with more action from Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Harambe 125 presented by CPS. Oh, my God. I see that on there.
as we're coming back here to go back to green. And right now, what we got, 0-2 to Patrick right there. He's going to start this field off. I think he's going to shoot out like a cannon, but that 51 has been all over his back end.
Yeah, and before we get going, I want to give a shout out to one of our viewers, 24 Firestorm. Not going to say what he commented, but it's actually pretty funny if you take a look down there. It involves, I don't know if that's supposed to be a joke name or a real name, but I'm just not going to say it.
Well, let's go ahead and do the shout out here before they go green. The Harambe 125, ladies and gentlemen, from Winstel Cup Series, right here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, as we're about to take the green flag.
Green flag is back out. Patrick Campbell shoots right out of the gate. A good restart on the number 02 machine.
Yes, he does. Again, got an awesome shot there as he takes off into turn number 1. The field stacked up right behind him, and that's what we're going to see on these restarts. Sometimes we always say it, the old adage is sometimes cautions breed caution, so we have to stay on a little bit of edge of our seat here, Matt, and see what happens.
Yeah, that 51 number, the 51 Chevrolet SS of Nicholas Doucette got a very good restart, running that high line, and he's already starting to close on Patrick Campbell. Look at Brendan McKissick, though, in the number 24. Speaking of drivers that got a good restart on new tires, him there. And look at the 27 shot out of the cannon there, moving up, trying to move up into that third spot.
Man, he did, man. I'm going to tell you, and they are battling up a cool breeze back there for that 4th, 5th, and 3rd place.
Yeah, where did that 27 come? And see, Stephen Bone still went way low there in the back of the field.
Well, you got to look, man. New tires. I'm going to tell you, these guys feel like Superman, man, on new tires, and they can put that car anywhere and just give it about another 5 laps or so. You won't start seeing moves like that.
Yeah, but that 27, talking about that, at the very end of that last run before the caution came out, he was moving too, so that 27 just kind of came out of nowhere, but is a very fast race car.
Yes, he is, the number 27 there, and that is Justin Rodin. I'm going to say Rodin. Rodin, okay. Justin Rodin, and the number 27, a Castro GTX Chevrolet. I'm going to tell you what, he's putting that thing where he needs it to be put, and that's going to the front.
Yeah, that is for sure, and it actually falls back a little bit right behind Brett Fawsey, so it'll fall back to about 6th spot, but still, that's a very good spot to be running in right now, 27 out of 64 laps complete tonight.
It is. He got 38 laps to go here, so he's still got time. Oh, he's still got time, so, I mean, he's probably just going to say, well, let me settle in a little bit here, save some tires, and see what this car will do in the long run.
The battle for 19th position, or 18th, Elliot Henderson trying to make a run on the number 55, and Henderson, he's way slow. Is he out of gas or something, or did he accidentally hit his ignition? Because he slowed way down there for a minute.
I don't know. I would be curious to see there. I don't know if maybe he had a problem as far as ignition or whatnot.
I think there's something up with that car, because he was just charging on the back end of the number 55, and look at him, he's falling like a rock.
Yeah, something might have went wrong, or he just hit a turn wrong or something like that. So,
yeah,
looks like he's trying to battle back now. He's in the 21st position, though.
Yeah, something went wrong there with that number 37 for a minute. He had been working on the back end of that number 55 with Clifford Evan and was making good progress. Right now, Evan tries to make a pass on the number 76 of Leon Bornage, and 76 is able to hold him off. As we've been talking, there has been a lead change, though. Nicholas Doucette starting to pull away from the number 02 Xerox machine.
Wow, so he finally made that pass there on him and got around him. It was just a matter of time, but he just had to set him up right and get it done. So, like you said, the league champ from last season, Patrick, falling to 2nd place. We might see a new guy, but this is what we was talking about in the pre-race, Matt. These guys need the urgency, and what you're seeing is Nicholas knows that urgency. I got to get and shoot out the gate here and make a fast win. Only 3 races for a championship this season.
Yeah, that's true, and you know what? Doucette's showing right now that he definitely wants to win that championship. Of course, I think Patrick Campbell's going to walk away with the most laps led tonight. So far, he's led a total of 25 laps. Nicholas Doucette has led a total of 5. Those have been our only 2 leaders the entire night.
Yes, I mean, we still have 34 laps to go, so Nicholas could actually close that gap in very, very quickly.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I may be wrong there, but, Patrick Campbell able to hold on with about half a second distance between him and Doucette. So I don't think Campbell's going anywhere real quick though.
No, I mean, and it looks like it's with these cars. They look so even out there, and after a while, it's more or less it's going to be about driver and how well you save your tires and how well you get around this track.
Yeah, that was a big fall off earlier for a few drivers. I noticed the number 70, Gloria Quintanilla. How about her? She is moving through the field. She started all the way back in 30th spot, but look at her. She's up to 15th right now. Yeah, now she's up to 15th.
Nice. Heck yeah.
Yeah, another driver I gotta say is starting to move a little bit ways towards the front of the field. Actually, never mind. He's right where he started. That's Clifford Evans. I thought he was moving towards the front of the field there for a second, but oh, and there's a spin in the back. That's number 37 car. Caution out. That's a 37 of Elliot Henderson. We were talking about him earlier, saying he had problems with that machine, and obviously something went wrong. He hit the apron is what happened, and sent him up the track and sent him around on the racetrack, making a little bit of contact with Ryan Nolan there as he was getting loose, but man, never mind, because I accidentally clicked the wrong button.
Well, you know what? I was watching that, Matt, and we just went back and watched the replay on that. That number 37 of Elliot Henderson, he just caught the apron, and when he came off of that turn by catching the apron, it upset that car. And when it did, he had to check up coming out of the turn, and unfortunately, the guy behind him had nowhere to go. Just give him a little love tap. That's all it was. No harm, no foul, and just send him around. It was basically just because he caught the apron of the turn going in and upset the car.
Yeah, but very lucky for Ryan Nolan to not get any damage out of that, only a little bit of light contact. Same with the 37. He kept it off the wall rather well. Of course, he falls back to the 26th spot. He started in 19th tonight as we take it to another caution cam. 34 out of 64 laps complete. Nicholas Doucette, your current race leader. We'll be right back with more action here on FMTV.
Awesome.
I think that's a good outro. We'll be right back.
Yes. Hey, I want to give a shout out to all the viewers out there. Appreciate y'all watching.
go back to green, look at the number 54, Brandon Cruz Monsivice. He started back in 26 all the way up to second, but he's got heavy damage to the front end of that machine.
Yeah, I see that. I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to give you hats off to the way you said that last name, Monsivice, because I would have had no idea how to pronounce that, so I'm glad you said that. But I'm riding out the... Hey, there you go, man. Right now we're about ready to go. Green flag racing here as Nichols gets another jump, and we're running right here on the in-car camera of Brandon McGee's. Is that right? McGee. All right, good deal, Brandon McGee.
Like the character on The Simpsons, Maggie.
Ah, okay, good deal. And I apologize. I don't mean to mess up any of these names.
Yeah, you see Monsivice on the outside, though, starting to fall towards the back of the field, getting passed by the number 94 and coming up on the number 8 at Tucker Minter. Now, for those of you who don't know Tucker Minter, he's the hashtag Boom Confetti guy on the forums, and he is one of my favorite people on the forums just for that.
Oh, okay.
It's funny to look at some of the posts because it's got that bottom tag of, Boom Confetti. Remember that old Jimmy Johnson commercial?
Not right off, man.
With the Boom Confetti after he won his 6th championship.
I'll have to watch that. It's been a while back, man.
Yeah, it's funny, though. Anyway, though, Nicholas Doucette got a very good restart, running away with the lead right now. But how about the number 24, Brandon McKissick, running right up, trying to catch up to the back end of Nicholas Doucette, and Brett Falsey running right on the back end of McKissick.
Yeah, and as we look at the gap right here, Nicholas is actually growing that gap a little bit. It was .255, now it's .39, so he's walking away from Brandon there a little bit. But what you can see, though, Brett Fawcett looking like he might want to pull up there in that number 78 machine and maybe take second place away.
Yeah, it's not surprising, though, to see Doucette start to pull away. We saw how fast he was on old tires. Only made sense when he got onto new tires, he'd be even quicker. But a very fast number 51 machine nonetheless. Driver that's starting to fade, I guess, as the track's rubbering in and heating up, is the pole sitter, Patrick Campbell, too. That's amazing how he's starting to fade, and it's kind of interesting to see, too. And if he wants to go for back-to-back championships, he's got a lot of work to do it.
Well, as you say that, and then you look back there, he takes a position away for fourth place from the number 14 machine of Michael.
Not yet. And Mason's fighting back on the inside.
He is. He kind of trying to do a crossover move on him there. We'll see if it holds on that low line because, again, we saw Patrick knew how to use that middle high groove so well early on in the race.
And it worked really well. He'll hold on to the fourth spot.
Yes, he will. I'm going to tell you. That's like what you were talking about. He knows it's go time. 23 laps to go here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The Winstel Cup Series here for the Hombre 125. 150 is what we said, 125?
Harambe 150.
Harambe 150 here at Charlotte Motor. There we go. A unique name
presented
there,
by CPS, don't forget.
Yep, presented by CPS. My bad, we had to put that in there too. But
for those of you that don't know, like me, that stands for Child Protective Services.
Nice. A heck of a darn sponsored name for a race. I'm going to tell you, that's unique.
Very interesting.
But back to Patrick Campbell. As you see, he's closing the gap on Brett Fawcett and the 78 machine. So he is a man on a mission and on a move. He knows it's go time. Going to be 20. There's 21 laps, and then the next time by will be 20 laps to go. So he knows in the small series of races, hey, I got to move and make some headway here if I want to win another championship.
Yeah, I feel like the driver that wins the race, especially with how short it is tonight, may be one of the best competitors for the championship just because they get a lot of points out of winning the race. We're running on the modified Winston Cup Series points, which, let me check right quick because I have that on my phone, so give me a second to load that up, and I'll tell you exactly how that works in a moment.
All right, good deal. Well, while you're doing that, I'm riding along here with Patrick Campbell, and he is right on the back bumper of Brandon McKee's, and I'm going to tell you what, Brandon has a little bit of damage on that back that might hinder him from holding off Patrick as they head off into turn number 4, coming down to the tryover. To be 19 laps to go this time by. Can Nichols hold that lead, and Patrick, can he run him down in time? I'm going to tell you, that's going to be the suspense here. Those have been the two cars of the class of the field so far, Matt.
Yeah, well, Patrick Campbell's got to first get past Brendan McKissick in the number 24 car, and then, of course, hold off Brett Fawcett. Now, here's how the point system works. since we have a very short season. It's the 175 Winston Cup points per race, plus bonuses for winning, obviously, leading laps, most laps led, no incidents, and completing at least 80% of the race. Maximum points for a race, 208. Right now, Nicholas Doucette, well, he's 5 laps away from leading the most laps, and he's obviously led a few laps, so he's on track to collecting that 208 bonus points.
Wow.
208 points.
And you were just talking about Patrick Campbell there. He just made the pass on the second place machine of Brandon McGee's. And I'm going to tell you what, he's going to set sights on for that leader, Nicholas Doucette. And those two cars right there have...
No.
Yes, sir.
The third place is Brandon McKissick, not Brandon McGee.
My bad. I don't know why I want to keep calling him Brandon McGee, but Brandon McKissick. I am sorry, and I apologize.
McGee's in the square D car.
I apologize for that. Don't mean to mess up the names like that. I will get them before it's over with.
Yeah, well, Brandon McKissick fighting back on the outside line rather well, though. You got to give him credit.
Yes, and I'm going to tell you what, he has got that preferred line there, and that's where Patrick is going to have to give way to him, or he's going to have a whole back end full of Brett Fossey right there.
Yeah, of course, if we get a late race caution, which is not unlikely, is some reason whenever we broadcast a race, it seems like we have a late race caution. Makes things a whole lot interesting, though. That, of course, bunches everyone back together and is going to make for a very interesting shootout to the very end of the race.
And it will. But I'll tell you what, the man sitting up front right now who loves that battling going on in the back, and that's Nicholas Doucette. He is definitely the one who wants those guys, hey, y'all keep battling. I'm going to keep growing this lead because he's almost a second ahead of them right now.
Yeah, Nicholas Doucette in the number 5, starting in 5th place, is up to first and has led a total of 23 laps today. Soon to be 24 laps once we cross the start-finish line.
Awesome, good deal. And I want to go ahead and say to all the league members and the drivers that there, I apologize for messing up some of these last names. This is the first time doing this here at the Winstel Cup Series, and it's an awesome event so far here. I will get these names down, Pat. I know Matt has been doing it now for another season or whatnot, so please bear with me. Yes, please bear with me. I apologize for messing up some of those last names.
I remember when I started, I had problems with the names too. But yeah, trust me, you're going to love this league after another race. It is one of the most fun leagues to race in, I imagine, because it's the old Cup cars. And it's a whole lot of fun just to watch. And, you know, I love these old Cup cars too. They're one of my favorite cars on Iracing.
I'll tell you what, right now the racing has been exciting. And this car right here actually brings upon itself this kind of racing because it brings close-quartered, even styled action. It really puts the driver at the helm of what needs to be done, and it's actually, this is the kind of racing that does make it exciting because we're seeing a very close style racing. Usually don't see a car get way out front, even though the lead right now is probably a second ahead. Yeah, that's still not that far.
Only a second, and just barely a second too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And normally we're seeing in like the truck or the Xfinity or Cup, those guys can get, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds in the front, no problem. These guys stay kind of bunched up together, which makes very interesting and exciting racing.
And if you're really good, sometimes you can see upwards of 10-second gaps in the newer race cars.
Yes.
I feel like, speaking in terms of the real world real quick, NASCAR wants to race. What they're doing with the low downforce package is a good substitute. But if you really want to get back to the good old days racing, bring back these cars, Bring back the cars from 2003, 2002, 2001, 2005 that were producing this kind of exciting racing week in and week out instead of meddling around with the aero package every 5 days.
Yeah, and that's what they're doing. They're trying to get too much on aero and not enough on the mechanical and letting the drivers do a lot of what they need to do. As we're seeing an awesome battle going on back here for 6th, 7th, and 8th spot, which is Ryan Doucette and Nick Tirbich. Did I say that right? Trebuch, okay.
Yeah, and then you see Justin M. Wilson in the 58 and Brett McGee in the number 94 Square D machine running right behind on that little cluster of cars there. And yeah, that's very interesting. I see Ryan Doucette down on the bottom there trying to make the pass on the number 29 and Nick Trebuch. And actually, Doucette is starting to fall back, and he'll fall all the way back to the 10th spot. Brendan McGee moves up to 9th.
He did. It looks like Ryan got a little bit loose on that low line right there. The tires might be falling off just a little bit on him. As we got 9 laps to go, 8 laps this time by, 9 laps, this time by, and we're getting down to go time, and I think we've had a good long green flag run here, Matt. Something we haven't seen since the start of the race, and now we're starting to see tire wear become a factor.
Yeah, another driver that's having issues with tire wear is the number 55, Clifford Evan, who was kind of working towards almost the top 10 about 5 laps ago, and now has been starting to fall back. He started 18th, currently running in the 15th spot. So anywhere you want to cut it, if this race would end right now, he'd of course have an improvement on where he started, but probably not where he'd like to end up overall.
No, I mean, yeah, he started 18th, currently 15th. He's battling right now door to door with Dylan Roberts for that 14th, 15th spot. And, you know, the more they stay side by side, obviously the more tire wear it's going to be, as they're actually coming up on slower lap cars that actually have made pit stops and whatnot. So, yeah, definitely tire wear. And as you see, he got a little bit loose coming off that turn right there.
Yeah, you see Philip Snipes starting to catch to the back end. Oh, there's a car through the grass. Dale Earnhardt passing the grass style for the number 92.
I saw that. Wow, number 92. He must be on some very good tires because he made that thing stick.
He's on something, but that was interesting.
Yes, it was. That was Jeff Ramsdale in the number 92 machine.
92. Yeah, Jeff Ramsdale. Wow, that was something. You don't see that every day.
I'll tell you what's something interesting here. With 6 laps to go, we actually have green flag pit stops. So these guys
fuel.
Yep, that's what I was about to say, Matt. Fuel. These guys might be running it awful darn close on fuel. So something we might need to keep an eye out for on the leaders up here.
Yeah, that's something to consider. As Nicholas Doucette comes out, 40% fuel. That's why.
Wow, and the leader comes, and oh boy, I'm gonna tell you what.
Got very hot in.
Yeah, he did. He came in there and locked those tires up bad, but we're going to have 5 laps to go. I think we're going to look at maybe a fuel shootout here. Can somebody make it the whole entire way?
I don't know, but Brett Fozzie stayed out that lap. I can guarantee I can say that.
Yep, I think he's coming in right now. Brett Fozzie is. Yep, I think.
I don't know. He's going to stay out another lap.
Well, as you just saw, all the cars that just came in, Patrick, Brandon and whatnot, Nicholas and Brandon and all those who just came in, they only did a splash and go because they needed just that little bit of fuel.
Got 4 laps to go.
My curiosity, Matt, is can somebody go the entire way here? Let's watch Brett.
Yeah, I think Brett Fozzie is trying to. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it, but he's definitely trying.
Well, you got nothing to lose. You got going to have 3 laps to go this time by.
Nothing to lose, everything to gain.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. I mean, if he comes away here with a victory, he's made it work. He's got 3 laps to go this time by.
And he's got 4-second gaps, so he can kind of, if he runs out of fuel, and say at the end of turn 4, and I mean the end of turn 4, he might be able to coast it to the start-finish line. You never know.
Well, right now I am riding with him, and I'm watching here Matt on the little tattletale needle I've got, and it looks like he is actually letting a little bit off going into those turns, so he's not pushing it as hard. He could be in some fuel conservation mode, and we could see Brett Fozzie steal this victory here, so to speak. Oh, but he might be out of gas here. Nope.
I don't know. He's still in the throttle.
He let off of it. He is definitely saving gas. Either that or he's coming in this time by.
I don't know, but this is going to be very interesting. I think he was letting off because that group of cars in front of him got a little bit squirrely.
Yep.
You saw the number 8, or I think it was the 01, who's a little bit behind him now, kind of get off into the. No, is he going to stay out? Yes, he is.
I'm going to tell you.
1 lap to go. Brett Fozzie's got a chance to win this race.
Here's the thing, too. Let's look at this. He has made 2 pit stops in this race. Do some calculations here. If they can go over, it was a 64-lap, 65-lap race is what we were saying.
64-lap, and we're on the last lap. Half a lap to
wow.
go.
I'm going to tell you what, Brett Fozzie, if he can hold on here, it's going to be a wonderful victory.
It's going to be an upset win, too.
Yes, it is. I'm going to tell you, a win's a win. Take it how you can get it, but he is coming out of the turn.
He's going to do it.
Yes, he is. He's going to hold the field off in a fuel mileage stretch. He is half throttle right now.
He's
coasting.
out of gas. Brett Fozzie is out of fuel, and he's
he
going to
won. Wow. That was awesome.
You know, that's funny. This is the second race I've broadcasted where I've said, the leader could probably run out of gas and coast to the finish line and be okay. The first one being the Extreme Motorsports Atlanta. Remember the Xfinity cars, a little shootout race there.
I'm going to tell you what, but my hat's off to that man right there, Brett Fawzy, bringing it home, running out of gas out of turn number 4 and coasting it there. We were watching him at, well, what I was saying before that is, the thing says he has taken 2 pit stops, and we were talking, it depends on where he took those 2 pit stops at, and it looks like that paid off tremendously for him, and it brought him to victory lane.
And
nice.
a driver did not pay off for the number 55 machine. He was running in 7th place with 1 lap to go. He'll coast across the start-finish line in 21st, completely out of fuel. What a tough night. You know, he was trying to do the same thing, and it looked like it was going to work. He had 7th place basically wrapped up, and that would have been a great finish for starting 18th and would have been a great strategy call. But I guess he just miscalculated or something went awry for him, and he walks away with 21st. But, man, what an incredible finish for Brett Fawzy and that number 78 machine taking it home in the first position. We're going to read through the race results right now. In first, obviously, Brett Fawzy. Nick Treyerbuck finished in 2nd. 3rd place goes to Brendan McGee. 3rd will go to 4th place, Philip Snipes. 5th, Michael Finlayson, Thomas Trippiano. 6th, 7th, Bob Rodan. 8th goes to Ryan Doucette. 9th goes to Elliot Henderson. He had a few problems earlier, but a good bounce back for the 37 team. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah, very good bounce back. And 10th goes to Jeffrey L. McClintock.
Yeah, you probably said about as good as I could. We got 11th place here with Brandon Cruz. Monsavice. I appreciate the help there. In 12th spot, we're sitting with Tony Pizzero. 13th, Chris Hone. 14th, Nicholas Dessette.
Yeah, I read the first
I'm going to tell you what, there's the man who probably didn't benefit the most out of the gamble as far as fuel-wise goes. 15th, Tucker Mentor. 16th, Justin M. Wilson. 17th, Jeff Ramsdale. 18th, Brandon McKissy. 19th, Patrick Campbell, which again led a lot of races, but that fuel strategy there hurt him. And then around the top 20, Justin Rodin.
Yeah, and last season's champion, so that's a big strategy blunder by him to walk away in 19th. I know that sounds kind of harsh, but you got to look at it from the perspective. You win the championship last season, you're expected to follow up within the, in the new season with something, and that's a very tough race for him. And I hate to say it, since it's such a short season, that might nerf his chances of winning the championship completely. Unless he goes winning in the next 2 races. Yeah,
he's about going to have to there, Matt, I'm going to tell you, because he did everything right today. But again, sometimes the fuel strategy pays off. And Brett Fassat, man, he needs to give his crewmen a raise because they did the right call right there for fuel, tires, and pit strategy.
Yeah, and then obviously 20th goes to Justin Rodin. 21st, Clifford Eben. 22nd, Logan Powers. Dylan Roberts, 23rd. 24th, Gloria Quintanilla. Eric M. Wilson, 25th. 26th, Ryan Nolan. 27th, Lead Bornage. And 28th, Ryan Gavel. Steve Bonesteel rounds out 29th. And 30th, Rodney Wofford. And 31st, the driver that did not take the grid, neither did Rodney Wofford, is Derek Jackson in the number 15 machine. Well, it is that time of the night where we get to talk to our race winner, Brett Fawzy. Have you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you played the fuel strategy perfect, and you coasted to the start-finish line at the very end. That was very interesting to watch, I must say.
Yeah, I mean, I was nervous coming to the end. It was like 6 or 7 to go. People were starting to pit, and I looked at my fuel, and I was like, maybe I'll have a chance if I just coast a little bit. And then, I mean, with about 2 or 3 to go, I noticed people in 2nd and 3rd were a couple seconds back, and I knew, okay, I can save a little bit more. And started to sputter in about halfway down the back, but thankfully I knew at that point that I had it won.
Yeah, I got to credit you. I was saying you could probably coast it to the end if you ran out, in turn 3 and end of turn 4. Didn't expect you to take you up on it. But, very good finish. And how do you think your chances of winning the championship are now that you won? And of course, it's such a short season.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, you're right. Short season, 3 races, anything can happen, especially with no drop weeks. But I don't know if Patrick still has a chance or not, because I mean he's one of the top guys in the league, if not the top guy to beat every weekend. But oh man, I know that if he gets 2 more wins, he might be close enough. I'm not too sure, but I just don't think I'll get the championship unless I can really put 2 more good races together.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard thing for him to do and a hard thing for you to do. But if you continue putting together results like you did tonight, man, you got a good chance at it. Even if you finish top 5 the next 2 weeks, I think you got a real strong chance at it. And I do think you will be one of the championship contenders.
I sure hope so.
You've got that strategy kind of thing down with what you pulled off tonight. But have a good night and great race on your part.
Thank you, you too.
Next up, we'll be talking to second place, Brendan McGee, and that'll be done by Joe White.
Brendan McGee, this is Joe White up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes.
All right, man. You brought it home there. Second spot. I'm going to tell you what, it was an awesome race. Was you doing a little bit of fuel strategy there at the end, though?
When we all restarted, we knew that we were going to be short on fuel, so I ran decently hard, but not overly hard the first 10 laps, and I looked at my fuel and they said, okay, I'm off by about a lap and a half. So I started letting off a bit earlier and stuff, and by the end I started clutching it. So on the last lap I sputtered down the middle of the back straightaway, but it got me second instead of 8th.
Nice, and that's the way to pay it off. I'll tell you what, you need to give your crewman a raise there for that one on an awesome pit strategy going on here. You got anybody out there you want to thank and whatnot for this awesome finish, for bringing it home in second place here at Charlotte Motor Speedway?
Me, because I hosted
it. All right, good deal. Well,
but in all seriousness, what this does for anybody that got a good finish tonight, you can look towards Lanier next weekend, which is 125 laps, and say, okay, I can take it easy at Lanier. I don't have to go balls to the walls every race before we head to Talladega, which is the season finale.
Oh, wow,
so,
Talladega, that's going to be fun.
Nice, good deal. Well,
yeah, so really for those of us that got a good finish, we can afford to take it a little easier next week and kind of just ride in that top 10 if we can without getting wrecked next week, and try to leap ourselves or have a decent points gap heading into Talladega.
Good deal. Well, Brendan, I tell you what, I'm going to let you get back to your crew down there. I know they're excited for bringing it home in second spot here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Winstel Cup Series. We appreciate it and thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night, Brendan. And finally, we'll talk to Nick Trabuck. Nick Trabuck, car number 29. You got me down there?
Yes, sir.
How does third place feel tonight?
What was it? I don't know if it was second or third. Either way, it was pretty crazy. It felt pretty good. You know, I had a pretty clean race. I was able to control the car and keep the gas in it until the end.
Yeah, and the third place finish, obviously, great momentum going into next week at Lanier. How do you think the chances of winning the championship are? Such a short season, this good finish has got to get you hopeful at least.
Yeah, last season I think we did a short track race and I did pretty well. I'm a big fan of the short track races like Lanier and South Boston and that kind of track. So hopefully I can keep the momentum and bring it into next week and see what happens there. And the championship, who even knows? Like you said, it's a short season. Anything can happen in 3 races.
Well, good talking to you. And real quick, before I let you go, anyone you want to thank for this great finish tonight?
I just want to thank Brian for hosting it and everybody for racing mostly pretty clean. It was a nice, clean race, and it was fun.
All right, well, have a wonderful night, man.
Thanks, you too, guys.
From all of us at FMTV, we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Don't forget, though, the Extreme Motorsports Truck Series Preseason Thunder is Tuesday night, and both me and Joe will be streaming that on FMTV1 and FMTV2, respectively. I'll be on FMTV1, and I'll leave a link in the description for link to Joe's stream, so you can keep an eye on both the Fusion Motorsports TV Racing Tundras in that race. And then next week, we're here at Lanier for race 2 of the Winstel Cup Series. That is going to be a very exciting race.
I had fun tonight, Matt, and like you say, from all the people here at FusionMotorsportsTV.com, it has been a blast here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Winstel Cup Series. Thank you again, Matt. Thanks again for Brendan putting on an awesome show here, and it has been exciting.
Yeah, it's been a quick race, too, only an hour. We'll catch you next time we go live. And off.